Welcome to Obstacle Running Adventures,
the podcast that fuels your passion for obstacle course racing,
running, and all things adventurous.
Whether you're a seasoned pro or a weekend warrior,
we've got news updates as well as interviews with athletes
and other key members of our athletic community.
As a weekly show since 2017, we have covered everything from
championship and virtual races
to fundraising events and FKTs. And now, here are your hosts,
Michael Stefano and Katelyn Ritter.
Standing on the corner, lost all my clothes.
Hey guys, it's Michael Stefano.
And Katelyn Ritter. And Mikey, how was your weekend?
Not the best. We spent the weekend with Katelyn's family, and nothing at all happened other than that, right?
Nope, no news.
Nothing else. Nothing else to talk about. No, I had my first DNF. That's something we're gonna get into extensively. Katelyn wanted to interview me. We'll get to that in a bit. But other than that, weekend was kind of painful in a few ways. How was your weekend?
It was good. I saw my high school best friend. We went out to brunch, and we reminisced on all the fun times we had 15 years ago.
It's crazy.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
But always nice to see that. And then I hung out with my parents.
Nice. Let's give a shout out to our sponsors.
Mudgear. Use code ADVENTURE for 15% off your next Mudgear purchase. And Caterpie. Use code OCRReport20 for 20% off any Caterpie purchase. And OCR Report 20 can also be used for 20% off your next Spartan, Deca, or Tough Mudder event.
Perfect. Not the first episode of the month yet, but we're going to shout out the $5+ Patreon supporters.
Robert Landman.
You want to go backwards?
Sure. Robert Landman, Seth Rinderknecht, Ada Coddington, Logan Nagel.
Want to try that again?
Asa Coddington, Logan Nagel, Brent George, Evan Irick, Kevin Gregory Jr., Christopher Hoover, Jessica Johnson, Cheryl Miller, Aaron Grindstaff, Laura and Stephen Ritter, Hank and Arlene Stefano, Cheryl Engelman, Bradley Keel, Samantha Thomas, and Jason Dupree. How long has Jason been?
Samantha Thompson. I think you said Thomas.
Samantha Thompson. It's hard when it's like backwards from my brain.
Yeah, it seems to. I think Patreon made some changes, so I hope that all that was right. And to the OCR Report for being a great home for us on the internet.
And to Will Hicks,
the Podfather. Check it out over at theocrreport.com. Jason placed in his age group at Toughest Atlanta, and Carlo took on Tough Viking over in Sweden. Yeah, very cool.
Why'd you say it like that?
Sweden. They do like V
Sweden.
Yeah, like the Swedish chef.
The what?
Swedish chef.
I don't know what that means.
Swedish chef.
Oh,
from like that's kind of how they talk, right?
I guess I just never thought about it.
Oh, it's very fun. I love Swedish people, by the way.
You are Swedish, aren't you?
A little bit. Not as much as I would like to be. They're good looking out there.
Is that IKEA?
Yeah.
Okay. Shout out to our sponsored athletes, Javier Escobar, who
told... Oh, yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, who told me not to be a bitch.
Yep. And that he loves you.
Mm-hmm.
Kelly Sullivan.
Who recommended the Doritos Minis tube for transition.
Ryan Brizzalara.
Not sure what he's doing.
Joshua Reed.
Who dealt with my post-race venting call.
And Kevin Gregory Jr.
His gym, Underdog Fitness, is hosting the Deca Demolition Weekend. Is that what it's called?
Deca Demolition.
I don't think so. I know it's like a 3-in-1 Deca, High Rocks, and then the one that I always call wrong, Dirty.
It's the Memorial Day 3-headed monster. That's not what they were calling
Deadly Dozen. I want to say the Dirty Dozen.
So it's a Deca Strong, Mile Atlas, High Rock Havoc, Moose's Revenge, and a Deadly Dozen, Deadly Erg.
Yep, gonna go to poll results. So Katelyn posted, how long will the Spartan Ultra take Mike? So this is a little bit my fault because I chastised people for not believing me in the last one, but less than 8 hours, 9% of people said that.
8 to 11 hours, 64% of people said. 12 to 14 hours, 27% of people. And DNF, 0% of people.
So that's my bad that none of you guys got that right. I apologize.
They believed in you.
I know. Hurts even more. Meme of the week, we're going to skip. Head on right over to quick news, starting with this news story that Katelyn found.
Nikolai... Is that how you say it? Nikolai?
Yep.
Nikolaj? Oh, no. Nikolai Dam is a married man. It rhymes.
Yeah. Did you find a post? Or there's no C. Nope. Okay, there's no post. Next up, I wanted to give a shout out to Des Linden, who took on her final Boston Marathon race.
Des posted, "So long, Boston Marathon. So long, 26.2. It was the pleasure of a lifetime." Nobody Asked Us with Des Linden and Kara Gocher, presented by Brooks Running, the exit interview, available on all podcast players.
I'm sure that episode's going to do really well. But yeah, good for her. Good luck to her with whatever she's taking on in the future. I know last time we talked, she was really interested in ultras, which I think are very exciting as well.
Lindsay Webster posted, number 2 arriving the beginning of August. Are we nuts? Probably. We love the family life and decided we want the adventures of an expansion pack. Esme will be just a year old when the baby is born. We love the idea of having them grow up so close together. Also, wish us luck.
I love the term of expansion pack. That is amazing.
Right?
This next news story is something I was following along, but just an official update just went out. Jessica Poppy, which I believe that's got to be how it said. She said, "Hey everyone, I wanted to give a life update about our boy Banjo. He is living under hospital care." I should clarify, her boy is a dog. Doug Banjo. He is currently living under hospital care for the next few days, receiving 24-hour care. He hasn't been eating off and on for about 2 weeks. Low energy, high blood calcium, and elevated kidney levels. We've been on 2 vets and now the emergency specialist, and still no answers as to what is causing this and why he is so sick. He's lost about 8 pounds. And it goes on for a while, but just want to say we wish her and Banjo the best. That's very sad. Beautiful dog. Now we're going to head on over to podiums. There's a lot. This was a busy weekend, starting with Hildervat. Do you want to say what you're laughing at so we can put it in post-credit, or what am I going to do with this?
Mike was scrolling through his phone and there's a picture of his naked butt on it.
It was a tasteful photo. You're just mad because I didn't send it to you. No, it's like the.
Who are you sending butt pictures to?
I told you I wanted to see what the cut looked on my butt, upper butt.
You have like a perfectly straight line going across like where your pant line would be.
Hey, if you guys smash that like button, I'll post the picture. No.
This isn't OnlyFans.
Right.
Okay. For Hildervat, for the men's overall, in 3rd place, Joshua Nemeth. That can't be right? Nemeth?
Sure.
In 2nd place, Baxtel Hummel. And in 1st place, Richard Shin. For the women, in 3rd place, Heather Cox. In 2nd place, Jenny Kitchen. And in 1st place, Rachel Waters.
You're not thrown off by Kitchen?
No.
Okay.
I was more thrown off by Cogs.
Fair. That's your mom's maiden name. And then following that, we have the Spartan Tri-State New Jersey Beast podiums.
For the men, in 3rd place, Bogdan Klissa. In 2nd place, Kevin Sawyer. And in 1st place, Brent Trail.
Yeah, who passed me on the course.
And for the women...
Well, technically they all did. Sorry. Who I saw as he passed me on the course.
In 3rd place, Carolyn Johnson. In 2nd place, Taylor Phoebus. And in 1st place, Lisa Musacchio.
Yeah, so much fun to say. And now we have the Tri-State New Jersey Ultra podiums. Wait, people finished that race?
For the men, in 3rd place, Tristan Gregory. In 2nd place, Adam Colby. And in 1st place, Damir
Akhmadidajev.
That was really good.
Yeah, I wonder if he was one of the ones that I saw sitting there, done when I was at transition.
And for the women, in 3rd place, Nicole Kokia. In 2nd place, Sabrina Beholger.
Which, shout out to her, this was her first Spartan Ultra.
Oh, wow. And in 1st place, Lauren Longfield.
Nice. I had the opportunity to talk to Sabrina a little bit before the start, when I was too calm. Next up, we have the Spartan Tri-State New Jersey Super podiums.
For the women, in 3rd place, Taylor Phoebus. In 2nd place, Nicole Van Oort. And in 1st place, Cassandra Gill. And for the men, in 3rd place, Kevin Sawyer. In 2nd place, Anthony Mazinga. And in 1st place, Brent Trail.
Wait a minute, something looked funny there. Nope, never mind. And now we have, because there's no elite wave to the sprint on a trifecta weekend, so the Tough Mudder Atlanta podiums.
For the men, in 3rd place with 50 miles, John Herb. In 2nd place with 55 miles, Mike Strobel. And in 1st place with 60 miles, Joe Rucco.
Yeah, big fan of Joe over here. Good guy.
And for the women, in 3rd place with 45 miles, Haley Malote. In second place, Petra Costa with 45 miles. And in first place, with 50 miles, Charity Bourne.
What do you think about the name Petra?
Petra?
Yeah.
It reminds me of Jane the Virgin.
Oh,
because the evil woman's name was Petra.
Oh, that's right. It makes me think of one of my favorite characters in the newest, not the newest anymore, but the Fire Emblem game, Three Houses.
Oh.
I liked her.
I shouldn't say evil because she had a lot of character growth, and by the end, she was one of my favorite characters.
It was a weird soap opera, that's for sure.
It was not a soap opera.
Yeah, it was. Heading over to Savage Race Gainesville.
For the men, in third place, Richard Shin. In second place, Marquez Green. And in first place, Nathan Green.
Looks like they just ran with each other, off by 2 seconds.
Oh, yeah, they How do you think they decide who comes in first?
Rock, paper, scissors?
Wait, are these the
Another
same?
kitchen?
Are these the same people? Yeah, it's...
Heather, Jenny, Rachel.
Oh, they were both in Florida, so maybe that's why they went from Heldervat.
Oh, very cool. And it might have been a different weekend, too.
Gainesville. I think it was.
Okay.
For the women's pro, in third place, Jenny Kitchen. In first place, Courtney Washington. And in second place, Courtney Washington. And in first place, Jamie Horonopoulos.
Nice. I think that's all the podiums, right? That we have so far. Yeah, there were other races, too. I'm sure when those go up, we will announce those as well. But that was a lot. Secret link, there's 5 of them down below. But let's get to what this episode is all about. So Katelyn wanted this episode to be just interviewing me about my first Spartan Ultra experience. I figured that it wouldn't be nearly as interesting as me doing pit-by-pit coverage, which I'm going to be doing for World's Toughest Mudder for her in June. But as you can tell from the title, I had my first DNF, so I figured that maybe that would be worth talking about for a bit. Katelyn wanted to make it legit and do like an actual Zoom interview, even though we were in the same house. So there's 37 minutes of that if you care to listen, but I did not want an episode just about me again because the last one didn't do well, and I wasn't even a fan of having that be an episode either.
But you had a story to tell.
I did. So I'm also supplementing this with a rerun of one of the original hosts, Alex, taking on his first Ultra Beast in New Jersey back in 2017. So that entire episode is in here, and that's only 29 minutes. So it's a bit of a weird hybrid. Let us know what you think about it. But let's get right to those two things.
Let's start off real basic with what is your name and where are you from?
My name is Michael Stefano. I'm from Taunton, Massachusetts, but currently in my living room, in my dining room, because my wife kicked me out of the office so she could interview some loser.
Not a loser.
Not a winner.
This is probably the most important interview of my life. And let's bring it back to 2012. What brought you to the sport of OCR?
I feel like we did this like when we celebrated my 10-year anniversary of OCR. But what brought me to the sport way back? This is where we're starting, huh? I was big into video games. I was partying in college, having a good time that way. And I hung out with my friend CJ, who is the very in shape one. He went to the gym, all that. I had no interest in going to the gym. And I told him it was an event that he should check out. And then he's like, I'll do it if you do it. And then we took on the Spartan Sprint in Amesbury 2012. And as soon as I hit the first mud puddle, I absolutely fell in love with it.
Perfect. And then here we are all these years later, 13 years later, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, so some people might know you as Mike Stefano. Most people probably know you as co-host of Obstacle Running Adventures.
And some other nicknames in between, yep.
And some might know you as Mike Stefano, my husband, so welcome.
Mm-hmm.
So over the weekend, you attempted the New Jersey Spartan Ultra. What inspired you to attempt the Ultra?
Okay, yeah, so I've always enjoyed. I've never been fast at all. Speed has never been a sentence that you'd hear my name in with it, except Mike doesn't have speed. I'm just not quick. I don't enjoy going fast. It hurts. I'm not great at it. Ultra has always been my calling because it's more of an adventure. You're out there for longer. You don't have to go fast. The pain is like a dull ache. It's a mental battle. I love all of that. And my first Ultra, I think, was World's Toughest Mudder 2018, where I did 50 miles, 50 official miles. So, I probably did a lot more than that. And then I came back the following year to make sure it wasn't a fluke because most of the obstacles got shut down because of how cold it was, which I enjoyed. both parts of that. So I returned in 2019, got 55 miles, but that was also a somewhat bullshit year because they had those carabiner things and you could like talk to people into cutting mileage. So I wasn't a fan of that either. But since then, I'm kind of good with World's Toughest Mudder. And on that side of things, I want to do more of the media side, and I love that so much more. But ultras have always had my heart. Last year, my A race was the Fit Challenge Survival of the Fittest. Originally I wanted to do the 30-hour. I changed it to the 12-hour. And depending on who you asked, I got anywhere from 40 to 50 miles. And yeah, just really enjoy ultras.
Okay. And then what made you pick the New Jersey venue, bringing it to Mountain Creek, where I learned to ski?
So I knew that would be a bad idea. I'm not a big fan of elevation, but that's why I thought it would be like a really good challenge for me. It's convenient in that it is the closest one to me that isn't Killington, because Killington is on a whole other level. There's nothing like the Killington Ultra out there. So with that being this super close, also still difficult, but nowhere near as hard as Killington, I figured that would be a good one to take on. Plus Alex, my friend, that one of the original co-hosts of the show, took it on back in 2017, back when it was just the Ultra Beast and it was just 2 laps of the Beast. Things have gotten a lot harder since then, but I thought I should try to take it on.
So let's talk about that for a moment. So Spartan changed the format. They changed it from the Spartan Ultra Beast to just the Spartan Beast, which means they added a ultra loop to the race course. So if you look at the race map, the Ultra has 13,000 feet of elevation and an additional 3 obstacles. And the additional obstacles are armor, barbed wire crawl, and a 6-foot wall. So those are the additional obstacles because you do the sprint obstacles, the super obstacles, and the beast obstacles. Can you tell us a little bit about what the terrain of the extra ultra loop was?
My favorite terrain of the whole venue, easily. It's funny because I was talking to Angela and Jimmy, and they were saying like, "Oh, we thought about doing the ultra, but like that ultra loops looks hellish. Relatively flat, some ups and downs. Nothing is fully flat, but you are in this very, what I thought to be very pretty, very beautiful part of the course where you're just up on a flat and there's like lakes. We didn't have any swims. I would have enjoyed a swim because I was very hot.
No swim and no dunk wall, right?
Yeah, no dunk wall, which confused a lot of people. A lot of people were like, hey, can you tell me what the dunk wall is? I'm trying to find someone. And I'm like, there is no dunk wall. But I guess for people tracking the times, the dunk wall was supposed to be in front of the slip wall. Now, I don't know why they took that out because this was a lot hotter than many of these events that they've had in the past at this venue. Usually it's cold and rainy, and that's what I was planning for, because cold and rainy sounds much more enjoyable than the hot and rainy. And then, yeah, weather wasn't fun. But yeah, the obstacles too, armor or whatever. I think that was the first time I've ever done that obstacle because I haven't done a Spartan Beast in like 5-6 years, or maybe more than that. But it's just basically like think of it like a massive kettlebell that you're trying to bring over. That one wasn't too bad. That barbed wire crawl, I don't even remember. And the wall, I barely remember too because it's just a wall. But the running itself was nice. That's where I used to make up time.
That makes sense. And just for those people wondering, the dunk wall was an official obstacle on the course map that was released. And like you said, it was one of the tracking times that you could like track somebody on the Spartan website. So it is interesting that it just like did not exist anywhere.
Yeah, I thought that was strange.
So your first lap of the course, you complete 33 obstacles, including the dunk wall. So I guess technically 32 obstacles. You do the ultra lap first, and then you come in and you get to your orange bucket. And when you are in your orange bucket at your transition time, what is going through your mind?
I'm not having fun. I took a video and sent it to Kelly Sullivan because I opened it up and there were some goodies in there. There were some chocolates, some feel-good stuff, the energy drink that you were able to find for me because I like the clear gummy bear rain or whatever. But I saw the Pringles can and I'm like, oh, salt feels really good right now. And so it was like a Pringles can of the mini Doritos. So I was eating that. I'm like, oh, let me just send a quick video to Kelly because I had made the transition cut off by an hour and a half, and so I sent it to Kelly, and I'm like, hey, thanks for this. This is a great idea. By the way, I don't think I'm having fun. And then I sent like you guys a group message. I think it was in my family group text of just like, quick, here's how things are going. It wasn't great, but I thought I was constantly doing math in my head, which is like the worst thing to do in an ultra. Like, am I doing really good? I'm doing really bad. I wasn't too sure. I knew that I had thought that the next cutoff would be Olympus at 7. So I had a pretty good amount of time. I also had to make sure that my headlamp was working and had extra batteries. And I switched out the 2 bladders, even though I was kind of sick of the tailwind at that point. I just wanted regular water. But I took out like all the extra snacks because I didn't really eat many snacks in the first one. And then I realized it was time to do all this crazy stuff again. Part of me worried I wasn't too sure how big, because I couldn't have the course map. The course map wasn't stuck in my head as much as I would have liked it to be, but I didn't know how much of a gap there would be between the start of the ultra loop and the end of the ultra loop, and that like where is that on the beast course? Turns out they're like right next to each other. So that was good. But yeah, I wasn't looking forward to doing all that elevation again.
Can I read the text message you sent to the people?
Sure.
So you texted us saying, super wet and dangerous out there. Just got to transition. Drank 150 ounces of water and haven't peed yet. Quads and calves and breathing are not holding up well. Worried about DQ, but made the first cutoff. Giving it everything I have, but the elevation is brutal. So was the elevation the most challenging part of the course?
Easily. Yeah, easily. I think there's the elevation that was the most difficult. The mileage wasn't a factor. If it was just the ultra loop, I could do that all day. But that's the thing, like that's not part of the race. I signed up for one with hellish elevation. I think the only thing that would take like second place for the difficulty of the course was the carries. Wasn't quite Palmerston level. The first sandbag carry wasn't that bad. The Spartan pancake, I think I brought it down like a couple times. That was difficult. The bucket carry, I struggled a lot on. So those were the 3 of the obstacles that I was, mainly just the bucket carry is what I was dreading the most on the second loop. And bender. And there's one more. Was it maybe the spear throw? Because the spear throw, I had to do 30 burpees because the spear was heavy from the rain, and that was not fun either.
Did you have a favorite obstacle?
Slip wall. Which now in hindsight, I should have done it the second time because that's where I walked off the course. Spoiler alert. But I love this. I love the slip wall. There was a whole bunch of people there cheering and stuff, which was kind of fun too. But with like the VJs, like I kind of ran up it, but I didn't worry about slipping. Like in VJ's grip, I trust. That was definitely my favorite obstacle. Yeah.
Perfect. So you gave a spoiler away. You ended up having your first official DNF. So can you walk us through? So we know you made the first course cutoff. You made it to the transition in time. What led to this DNF? Yeah,
so I leave the transition area and continuing along the course. Let me pull up the course map while I'm talking about this. What was not listed on the website and was not told to us at the start line was that there was an additional cutoff at the Tyrolean Traverse, which is only the 5th obstacle. You had to be there by 4:30. I think I'd made that by like a half hour, but I didn't know that was a thing. I thought people were just, some people.
Oh, I didn't know that was a thing either.
No, some people like to spout bullshit, but I did see some other people that were like heading down the mountain, and I yelled to them like, "Hey, quick heads up! You have like 5 minutes to get down there and pass that obstacle." And they later found me, and they're like, "Hey, were you the one that like yelled at us?" And I'm thinking like, "What are you talking about?" They're like, yelled at us that like there was a cutoff that we didn't know about. I'm like, oh yeah. They're like, thank you so much, blah blah blah. So that felt good. They eventually caught up to me and passed me, which showed how slow I was going. And then I continued on to the course, just a lot of uphills. A lot of people that were in where I was there said there was plenty of time, but they were also moving quicker than I was. Continued the course onto, I think it was 10, the Irish tables, which were simple enough, but by the time we reached there, the storm had rolled in, and not just rainstorm that was on and off all day, but this one was thunder, a lot of thunder, and I imagine lightning too. So the obstacles were shut down, and I should actually back up a little bit before that. There was like the plate drag and some other obstacles where the group I was in, similar pace wise, they were just kind of walking past the obstacle just so they could get to the finish. And I talked to one girl actually before the other cutoff. She's like, "Is there an obstacle down there?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's the Tyrolean Traverse, but if you haven't done that, like you're DNF'd," and explain the situation to her. And she's like, "Oh, I don't care. I'm not doing any of the obstacles." So it was weird that like there were a lot of people there that weren't doing anything, and a lot of people that were just like, "I'll skip it." Which on one hand, run your own race. On the other hand, like earn your goddamn belt buckle. So that kind of pissed me off a little bit. But by the time I'd reached Irish tables, which is obviously a very doable obstacle, he said, "Go under it, don't go over it." And I thought he was just like being nice. And he's like, "No, because of the storm." So I picked up my pace a little bit more after that. Kept running around, made it to, where was I? Somewhere in the woods for like a very long time. Looking at it, looks probably like it was after 11, probably after Twister Hurdles. I don't know.
So Twister Hurdles, Stairway to Sparta.
Yeah, I realized like I wasn't gonna get close to getting the cutoff. I was kind of okay with it. Like I wasn't moving fast enough, and it had gotten so muddy, and the rocks were so sharp that like if you slip and fall, you were gonna get really, really fucked up. And there weren't any volunteers at the obstacles anymore, so it was like extra dangerous. But since I heard the storm and there were no volunteers at the obstacles, I continued to pass the obstacles. Some of them I would do the penalty loops. Trying to think. Yeah, some of them I would do the penalty loops. And then eventually, like when it was very confirmed that like I had no idea where Olympus was going to be showing up again, but I was nowhere near it. And so I just walked with this other girl who said that she was vomiting and having a tough time. So I just walked with her, and then she like seemingly she was vomiting for like a while, and I'm like, "Hey, do you want me to stay with you? Do you want me to keep going and get a medic?" And she said that she would like call someone in the festival area, which I didn't think made any sense because what goes that going to do? So I stayed with her for a while, and we walked very slow. And then by the time I got out of there and got close to Olympus, I talked to a guy that was looking to see how many people were left in the course because we were like some of the last ones, and explained that there was someone back there that needed medical assistance, blah, blah, blah. And I said, "Oh, by the way, like, how does this DNF work? Like, do I get a ride back? Do I have to do like a walk of shame?" He's like, "No, you're fine. Keep going," which was the worst fucking thing I could have heard because I was already pretty checked out. I was good to stop. So he's like, "As long as you get it to the end by 9. And I'm like, "Okay, are the obstacles back open now because like the storm's over?" And he said, "Yes." So Olympus, that's when I started doing the penalty loops again. So the penalty for Olympus, there was no penalty for beater. And beater was one that I almost fell and ate shit on the first lap. I knew I probably shouldn't have done that again. So that's the first one that I just like up and skipped and probably shouldn't have skipped. And then I ran into another staff who said, "Hey, just keep skipping the obstacles. Don't worry about it. Just get to the finish." And so I started doing that, and I'm like, I hate this so much. This is not doing the Spartan Ultra if I'm not doing the obstacles. So I just kind of continued walking the course, skipping the obstacles. Got to one of the descents. God's map is such a wild thing to look at. And like the sweeper was there just to like follow the last person on course. And he was like, "Oh, the last person's here. The last person's there." And I just explained to him like, "Hey, like once I get to the slip wall, I'm gonna like walk off the course in DNF because like even if I were to make it at the end by 9, which I don't even know if I would have, I wouldn't take the medal. I wouldn't want the medal." And so I continued walking with him. He's a cool guy. I think his name is like Dan or something. He has like a background in triathlon. That's what he's into now. So we walked down to the slip wall, and even though there were like 2 miles left, and I think I walked off around like 8 when the finish would have been 9. Just walked off there, and then one of the other staff was like, "Hey, you're going the wrong way." And I just explained, "No, I'm done. I'm good," and went to the transition and gave you the update.
Yes. So, wow, you are a great podcast interview because you just answered so many of my questions without me ever asking a single question. So thank you. So you DNF'd the course, but before that, how do you stay mentally tough? You knew when you hit obstacle 5, the what's it called? Trilenian?
Tyrolean Traverse?
Yes, you knew that you were just like half an hour away from that cutoff time. What kept you going?
I didn't want to, which I ended up doing. I didn't want to walk off the course. I wanted to be forced off the course. And I thought I was going to seek that, death eventually, but they kept resuscitating me, which was horrible because I just wanted to die at that point. But I don't know. I wouldn't say this was the best example of being mentally strong. I would say my body definitely gave up more than anything, but my mind wasn't in it. I don't think I was enjoying. I enjoyed the ultra loop. I enjoyed some of the views, but I was in no way, shape, or form prepared for like the elevation and stuff. So I just kept moving one foot in front of the other, slowly.
And then now that it's been a couple of days, how do you feel about the DNF? Do you think that you could have done something differently and not DNF'd, or are you like not satisfied, but like, are you at peace with your decision?
Yeah, no, there was definitely, if I had problem about being a podcaster, if I took all of the time and effort that I put into this show and put that into training, yeah, I think this would have been a different thing. But the thing is, like, I don't care about my own races as much as the podcast. So this was the most I've ever put the podcast on the back burner, which shows in the downloads and the reruns and all that stuff that we've been doing lately. But yeah, I think if I had done more training, if I had more time to train, but I don't know, that elevation, there was a recipe for disaster. I don't think I ever would have gotten it. So I'm not happy, but I'm at peace. I'm impressed with the community that, like, when I was leaving the venue, a lot of them saw like the bib and they're like, hey, like, great job, Ultra. I'm like, would have been a great job if I finished. And they're like, yeah, you still went out there. That's amazing. Like, I couldn't imagine going out for a second loop. So like, everyone was very positive building up. That was good to see. And it was great seeing a lot of the community. I don't do a lot of Spartan races anymore. I think I've done maybe 2. Well, I guess I did like the local Boston one, but that stick out like, I don't know, maybe 4 in the past 3 years or something. I'm just not really into it as much. I'd rather cover it than run them. But it was good seeing the community and sharing the course with some of them. It was kind of sucky in the second lap where typically you're with the Beast racers. I was so slow that I didn't get to see many people. So I was alone for a lot of the race, which typically is fine by me. But when you're with someone, it's easier to like go quicker and everything. But no, I don't think I would have had a chance to finish this one.
How does the Spartan community or like the Spartan Ultra community compare with like the World's Toughest Mudder community?
Yeah, not as good. Not as good. I'm very happy with like the people I got to see there. There was like, oh God, Alexis and Matt, Solanka, Diesel Dan, the guy that has like a really long nickname. That's like the longest nickname in the world. Diesel Dan was there. Got to see Mario, got to see Jeff. Got to see some elites that like we know each other from like the podcast and stuff. That was fine. But like in terms of like there's no one wanting to like help each other, which is fine. Like do your own challenge. But when I got to, I think it was like a 10-foot wall or something. Like I could have used a boost. I was trying to like conserve my energy wherever I could, and they would skip the obstacle and not even look behind them and like see if anyone needed help. So I think between like the lack of integrity with a lot of people and the not willingness to help, I think I got help over Bender because it was pouring on the first lap, and I tried to go over that. Like, hey, can I get a knee? And they kind of like scoffed at me, and I'm like, I'm doing the ultra. Like fuck yourself. So I mean, I would say I would do World's Toughest Mudder over this event any day. World's Toughest Mudder is also fun. The Spartan Ultra I don't think was enjoyable, but also because like the elevation and stuff. Also, I don't think any of the obstacles are fun either. Really, like my favorite thing is the slip wall. Whatever. So yeah,
I think it's. Oh, go ahead.
No, yeah, just World's Toughest Mudder community is better.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting too because for those of you that don't know, I'm running World's Toughest Mudder this summer, and you always talk about like you have this vision of me being stuck at like a 10-foot wall and just being like too tired to get over it by myself. And I was like, oh yeah, well, like I'll just wait. But then like I never even considered like having the vision of you like being stuck in an obstacle with no help, where like World's Toughest Mudder is all about like the camaraderie and like we do this together, and like if you need help, we'll help you. But like never once was I like, oh, Mike's gonna get stuck in an obstacle and like be alone.
Yeah, if I didn't get help on Olympus, I don't think I would have made it past that one in the rain. I've fallen off of like the double overs at Fit Challenge, which is like around as tall, and Yeah, it's not a fun thing to fall from the top of. And if you fall from bender and like you get your leg stuck, you're breaking some shit. Also, the padding is on the side that I'm not worried about, right? Like it's on the, I don't know the last time you've ever seen, I don't know if you've ever even seen this obstacle, but when it's slanted back, the padding's there, which is good, but on the dismount, there's no padding over there, so that's scary. Um, and then, the other obstacle that I'm terrible at is the Atlas carry. Like that's another one where there's like no penalty because I'll take a penalty over most obstacles. I'm not good at obstacles. I don't for the most part I don't really enjoy obstacles, which is why I don't really do much obstacle racing anymore. But yeah, you could definitely get stuck at obstacles, and you know at that point you can say like, oh, I'll skip it or I'll do burpees or whatever. But yeah, do what you're gonna do.
What keeps you such an person of integrity? Like nobody's watching. You're 30 miles into this ultra and you're still doing the obstacles. You know that the cutoff time is like quickly creeping up on you, but you're still like, nope, have to do this obstacle. Nope, have to do this penalty.
Yeah, because I would know. I think if I would look at the medal that I had, earned, like as many people do, I'd be pretty fucking pissed of just like looking at it. Like I didn't. That's wicked unfinished business. There was another guy in course. It's good that I don't know anyone's names because I'm not going to out them anyway. But I did the bucket carry, which was pretty grueling, as I said before. And the guy's like, "Hey, is there like a timing mat down there?" And he was like asking a whole bunch of people because he wanted to know if he could skip it and continue his race. And I'm like, what the fuck's the point, dude? Like, if you can't do the race, it's like, oh, it's not worth dying over. Yeah, well, okay, but like DNF it like a fucking man. Like, just go down with the ship if you can't do it. If you can do all the stuff, congratulations, you just did the fucking Spartan Ultra at one of the more difficult races in the U.S. But yeah, it would bother me so much, and I would be very disappointed in myself. I mean, I already was when I was told to skip the obstacles. It just, I don't know, that would have bothered me a lot.
Yeah. Do you have a race mantra?
Yeah.
Like, is there something that you repeat to yourself?
No, I just had your shitty Taylor Swift song stuck in my head the whole time because that's what we listened to that newest album.
Which one?
I don't know. I don't fucking know anymore. There was a lot. But because we listened to that newest one 4 times in repeat, which was a horrible, horrible thing to do.
Tortured Poets Department.
Yeah. So it was that instead of like my music that I would listen to. So that was stuck in my head, which did not help. But no mantras worked for this course at all.
No. And then you sent me 3 pictures. I'm going to show the people. So this picture is Mike at 6 a.m. prior to the course. Mm-hmm. What was going through your mind at this picture?
That I'm not as nervous as I should be. I've never felt this calm before a race, is what I was telling people. And that was weird for me because before a 5K, I've got some bowel issues and everything. This race, I felt calm. I've never felt calm before.
And then when you came through at 2:06 for your transition, I got this picture.
Yep, I was hurting. My quads and my calves were like burning out. My inner quad, like inner thigh, like those muscles were getting weak, and I knew that was a bad sign. So yeah, I was hurting, but wet, but I enjoyed the snacks and the brief break in the transition period.
And then at 8:31, I got this picture.
Oh, 8:31. Okay. Yep. So not very pleased with myself, but felt pretty solidified in my decision of like walking off the course. It didn't make sense to finish it because even if I finished it, I would not have taken the medal. And then it would have been, I mean, I'm still getting a whole bunch of questions asked like, you got 32 miles. What do you mean you didn't finish? Like, yeah, it's a long story, but yeah.
So Mike, how did you end up with 32 miles and the DNF?
Yeah, penalties. Penalty loops. Let's see, I wasn't able to do the fact that it was raining didn't help, but also the fact that I'm not great at obstacles. So where did I fail? I failed. I didn't even attempt Olympus. I just went straight to the penalty loop because I've never been able to do that. Not even in the rain. No, when it's not raining. And then I failed the multi-rig. I failed. God, I should probably put the list. I failed a lot. And the penalties were good, good length. I did the Tyrolean Traverse the first lap, which was like only like a few miles in, but my quad cramped when I like jumped up on the first lap. So I'm definitely not doing that the second lap. So I took the penalty there too. And if the penalties didn't involve more elevation, I think that would have gone better too. But the penalties should suck. So that's why I got a lot of mileage there.
Okay. And what advice would you give somebody who is preparing for their first ultra? You are 50 miles at World's Toughest Mudder, 55 miles at World's Toughest Mudder. You've completed trail ultras. You just DNF'd the Spartan Ultra with over 31 miles. What advice do you have for people?
Just taking on an ultra itself, or this ultra, or what?
Any ultra.
Any ultra, just keep moving. Get fun snacks that are fun to eat. I just sucked on Tailwind the whole time, and my tongue just felt like a lemon, which was kind of annoying. I didn't really have a lot of fun food until I went to transition. I had snacks on me, but I ate some gummy bears, and that was also way too sugary too. I wish I had some more salt, but just bring like a variety of like bring salty, bring sweet, bring sour, bring like a bunch of things to, take your mind off the pain and everything. And yeah, just keep moving. Don't pick if you're not used to elevation like me, don't pick a course with elevation that's over like 10,000 feet or whatever. But yeah, have fun with it. Do it with do it in a place with a good community.
If you were able to redo this, we get in our time machine and we go back to last Friday, what would you have done differently?
I don't think I would do anything differently at all.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah, I mean, prior to that, I would have made more time to train and everything, but life is busy. I got a lot going on. I don't have time to work on my own races. So training would have made the difference. What I did for that race, I don't think I would have changed anything because I'm glad that I took it on. I'm not glad that I DNF'd, but with the rumors, and I should look into this too, of like this being like the last time the venue is going to be used potentially. I also think that it's a mistake in people realizing that it's going to be a different fall version, and I think they go back and forth. But I'm glad that I got to experience it. Even knowing that I would DNF, I think I still would have gone through the motion of it. Got some good training, I guess. But yeah, no, I don't think I would change anything.
Will we be seeing you at the next Spartan Ultra next April in New Jersey?
Oh, not a chance. That was my initial reaction. Because it's not even like, people are like, oh, you have something to prove now. And yes, but also the time that would take for me to not be like, I'm already very slow, like at a base level. And so with the elevation, it gets slower. The training that I'd have to put into that to get faster and to let the elevation impact me less isn't worth it to me. I am interested in doing some other Spartan Ultras that don't have that crazy elevation because, again, the mileage doesn't bother me. I can go for a long time. And so I've been talking to some people and they suggested some other ultras in the fall. So I might do that. But yeah, I don't really think I have any interest. And I mean, quite frankly, I'd rather be doing the podcast, interviewing people, spending time. And that would have helped the show more. And to me, that's everything. All my importance in OCR right now is the show and building that up and getting more of the community involved and trying to like make more of a difference in the sport than my own personal race.
I do want people to know that you did train for this. You didn't just
That's a good point. Yeah. So I've been training for this race specifically for months, but the time that I'd given my coach for like availability, I would train from, anywhere from a half hour to an hour and a half a day. So it was a lot, but it wasn't, the elevation just wasn't I wasn't ready for that.
It's also hard because we don't live where there's elevation.
Yeah. So we
drove. Oh, go ahead.
I went to Blue Hills and we did 3 hours of ascending and descending, and I got like 11, 12 laps or something like that. And so felt pretty good about that, but it's just, okay, that's what you do when you're fresh. What do you do after, 10 hours and then you have to do that? Like it's not the same. And you can't, I don't have the time to simulate that. I'm not full time in this sport.
Right. You have a full-time job, you podcast, and then you train.
Yeah. Among everything.
And I make you spend time with me.
Yeah. And I volunteer for all sorts of like behind the scenes OCR stuff too. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, where will we see you next, Mikey?
I don't know. This was the only race on my schedule for this year. I know I'll go to others, but again, I'm more interested in doing interviews and stuff than actually running them. Savage I always enjoy, so probably the Boston Savage. Boston Spartan will probably pop by. I'll see if there's any local races that pique my interest. I know we don't have time to go to Gaylord Gauntlet, which is a bummer because that was one of my favorite races.
The best.
Yeah, so much fun. The race, the only race that makes my socks roll up and down like crazy is World's Toughest Mudder. So I'll be there. Beaver Castle. Very much looking forward to that. Looking forward to seeing a lot of great people. So yeah, maybe that's that in June. I don't know. Other than that, I'll probably just be doing some like local road running. Not even races, but like just the fun runs and stuff. Nothing really planned.
Mikey, you want to run a relay team at World's Toughest Mudder with me?
No, because I want you to do it for your damn self first. And I want to do the lap by lap analysis and interviews and all that stuff. I think that'll be fun. My nose is so itchy. Yeah, no, maybe another year, but I'm good. Also, you pay full, like I think both people pay full price and you only get to run half of it. And if I'm paying full price, I want to do the whole damn thing. So
that's fair. And if anybody's listening and they want to sign up for a Spartan race or a Tough Mudder event or a DECA, they can use OCR Report 20 and save 20% off their next event.
That's true. That's true. And again, I do wish that I had spent more time in. If I wasn't doing the race, I much would have rather like hang around the venue area because there were a whole bunch of people like Tom Mamming and Russ Blatt and a lot of like people that were there that I didn't get to see it all. And I much would have rather like seeing them instead of doing my challenge.
That's fair. Mikey, last question. Do you have any sponsors or anybody you'd like to thank?
I guess thank you to my coach, Joshua Reed, who also took my failure in stride too. He said like, hey, we knew this was going to be really difficult. So yeah, Josh Reed, sponsored by Mud Gear, sponsored by Caterpie, and the OCR Report for being a great home for us on the show, on the internet.
And to Will Hicks.
Podfather, check it out over at theocrreport.com. And then thanks for my wife for letting me train so often, which wasn't often enough. And thanks to
your wife
for giving me a place to stay and be supportive with my DNF. And I think that's it.
And as your wife, I'm going to say I'm really going to miss our Saturday long runs.
Yeah, I think I'll go back to it because my long runs weren't even that long, and I want to build up to a couple races in the fall that I'm thinking. One being a Spartan Ultra, and then I think I might want to go back to Survival of the Fittest, and with my more accurate watch, see how many laps of the course I can get done.
Oh, wait! One more question. After your DNF, what was awaiting you at my parents' house?
I was going to say a donut because I didn't see that there was a donut that you put in my bucket. So I ate that. I ate some Doritos. I finished the energy drink, so I was wired. You had a cake that was like half, sorry you DNF'd, half congratulations, let's see the belt buckle. And then you covered whichever side was not applicable. And then we had ice cream cake.
Here, I'll show the people.
And now I don't know who you're showing. This is an audio. Yeah. No one's watching this. And now I have all these like snacks and ice cream cake, and I'm starting to like feel better body wise, but now all this stuff's like floating around and it's here. So I'm eating it, which isn't great. So looking forward to hopefully not putting on too much weight.
Mike, do you have anything else you'd like to add or say before we wrap this up?
It definitely gave me more respect to the people that take on that course as if it's nothing. like they had no fear of DNF. I think most people fear not finishing Killington, but like New Jersey isn't a give me, and I knew that going into it. The percentage of DNFs I didn't get to look it up yet, but not great. It's difficult, and so even the Beast was a difficult course, having done that essentially a time and a half. And when we review podiums, I have more respect for, even if there's like a huge time gap between people because the sport isn't near as competitive as it used to be here in North America, they still finished the course and they still finished fast. So it gave me more respect for that. But yeah, I think that's all.
Perfect. Well, Michael, thank you so much for your time and appeasing me in doing this in a Zoom audio file. So this way it could be like a real interview.
Yeah, good. Hope you're the one to edit it.
Welcome to the M. Stefano Running Podcast. We're a small but passionate team who have been involved in OCR and running since 2012. Our standing goal has been and always will be to inspire both ourselves and others to push beyond the limits of our comfort zones. And now, here are your hosts.
Hi guys, it's Katelyn.
And Mike.
And we are currently in my great homeland of New Jersey. Mike, what are we doing here?
We're,
Can you not floss your teeth?
I got some stuff in my teeth, alright? Gotta make sure they're squeaky clean for when I see Alex. We're on our way to Mountain Creek to pick up Alex after potentially completing the Ultra Beast. There's a little bit of stress involved. Caitlin, can you explain that?
So, we spent a lovely day while Alex was doing the Ultra Beast, which is 2 laps of the Beast. And his time tracker thing online stopped working, so we have no idea where he is. He has an hour and 15 minutes to complete the race. We don't even know if he's still on the course.
Yeah, it's kind of stressful. I didn't get to check his bag because there was some bag check wasn't open when I went to drop him off at freaking 4 o'clock this morning. So he doesn't even have his cell phone. But we do know, I was just talking to Alex's mom, she was not alerted that there's a medical issue, so pretty sure he's all in one piece.
Right, so his mom was the emergency contact, so that's good that we heard from her. We are assuming. But we've also talked to Olivia, who is Alex's girlfriend, and she hasn't heard anything. I know that when I race, I put my brother down, so maybe I should be a little smarter about that.
That's fine. We're all a little bit of a nervous wreck. There's just the fear of the unknown. We don't even know if he finished. We don't know if he didn't finish, if he got kicked off the course in terms of time. Right now it's 8:15. By the time we get there, it's going to be around 8:30. I believe the course shuts down at 9, so we're going to know one way or another very shortly.
I would like it to be known that I'm actually not very nervous about this. I'm pretty calm, cool, and collected.
Well, I love Alex, so...
I love Alex as well.
What else? So, can you talk a little bit about Sean, Jimmy, and Angela? You can go through the text.
So Sean finished before Jimmy and Angela, and then Jimmy and Angela finished together.
What do they do? Tell them.
That's all I know.
They did the Beast.
Oh, yes, they did the Beast. They're only doing 1 lap of it, though. They're going to... Jimmy and Angie are waking up tomorrow morning to run it again.
Can you explain to them what the Beast is? Mileage? What kind of...
Oh, the Beast. Well, I didn't run this Beast. I ran the Killington Beast, so...
It's 14 miles, and it has this one has 13 obstacles. So the Ultra Beast, by virtue, is doing that twice. So say that's about 28 miles with 64 obstacles. And by the way, this is a Spartan race. I don't know if you mentioned that before. And in Spartan race, you get punished for each obstacle that you fail. Angie said that there were 3 new obstacles, and it's a tough course. So we're hoping that Alex didn't get killed too much by the burpees. By the way, Sean, this was his first course. He loved it. He noticed the big difference between Spartan race and Tough Mudder, where a Spartan race is very physical and Tough Mudder is very mental.
Great summary. I would rate that a 9 out of 10.
Now we're going to go back in time a little bit to where we picked up his bib yesterday. Then we'll go to the start line for the Ultra Beast. And then we'll go back to where we were, finally finding him at the Ultra Beast, and we'll find out whether or not he finished. Then we'll conclude with the outro, talking about Angela, Jimmy, and Sean's Spartan races. Angela and Jimmy did 1 lap on Saturday and another lap on Sunday. And Sean did his first Beast on Saturday. And that's all. So we're in... I don't even know where we are. Do you know where we are?
Last time I checked was Meridian. I don't know where we are now. Peekskill?
We were in Fishkill, which is a place in New York. Literally called Fishkill.
That was actually a town?
No, it was literally called Fishkill.
I thought it was just the name of the restaurant that was nearby.
Nope, it was called Fishkill. Side note, we had to stop. Alex had to go to the bathroom, and I figured I'd check some nerdy things, and oh my god, they had a Nintendo Switch. I bought a Nintendo Switch. Alright, that's all I'm going to mention it. Out of my system. Super excited. But we are on our way to where?
We're on our way to Mountain Creek Resort, which has a Beast and Ultra Beast going on this weekend.
And, luckily I'm not doing an Ultra Beast, but someone is.
I'm going to try my best. I'm going to do what I can, and hopefully that's enough.
Absolutely. And Alex doesn't want to talk too much while he's driving. I don't want him to crash my car. No, thank you. So after we pick up the bib, we'll talk a little bit more about it. Okay, so we're finally at the bib pickup for the Ultra Beast, which, by the way, you have to get there the day before. We didn't realize that. You have to check the site.
Bullshit.
Yeah. That was news to us, so we had some issues with rides, but we're not going to get into that.
It makes sense when you think about it, though, because, Ultra Beast starts really early in the morning, so they don't want to deal with long lines and have people miss their heat times, and it makes sense.
What time's your start tomorrow?
6:15 a.m.
Okay, and you can't see it because this is all audio, but we're looking at the mountain. We're parked right in front of the resort, and what was it that you said to me?
I said, do they really utilize that high on top of the mountain? And it's less intimidating than Killington for sure, but I didn't think it was as high as it is. Yeah.
You before that, you said this is definitely worse than I expected, and I wanted to make that very clear to you because I've raced here. Last year I did 2 supers here, Saturday and Sunday, and I did the Beast here last year once. And even before that, I came with CJ and we volunteered here. So I do know the mountain pretty well, and I do say mountain. It's not nearly as bad as Killington, but I wanted to make it very clear to you that it is still.
No, definitely it's a mountain. But I've dealt with mountains before, and I can do it again.
Excellent. And how do you feel? Now you're not driving. We have time to talk. How do you feel that you're training? Oh, that guy's definitely here for the Ultra Beast. How do you feel? What did you do to train to get here? Is there anything that you wish you did more of? Is there anything that you think you're completely set with?
What I did for training is that I did thank you. I did the P90X3 schedule, and what I did is I did a thing called doubles, so I was doing 2 P90X workouts a day along with a marathon running plan. So I did that for a course from literally New Year's Day to just a couple of days ago, and it feels really strange not to have a rest day. And there were certain days where I felt a little too.
Ultra Beast.
Oh, we got some Ultra Beasts over here.
We're gonna head in too then. We just found people from the Ultra Beast. No, you can still talk about it. Sorry, I just want to make sure we're in the right spot. He's not sure if we're in the. No one's sure if we're in the right spot. Very sorry, as you were.
So.
Your hands are really clammy.
Really? They always are. Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
But
reptilian maybe.
So basically with that training combined, I feel pretty confident. I think I might have overtrained a bit in areas which caused me to be really tired over a period of time, but we'll see how that plays out tomorrow. I guess tomorrow's the real test.
Good. So I think that the big things, so distance, obviously, say the course is around 13 miles, doing it twice, that's 26 miles, that's a marathon, so it's great that you did a marathon plan. What kind of marathon plan did you do? Was it Hal Higdon? Or?
It was Hal Higdon. It was the same plan that I used for the marathon I've done before this, and that was successful, so I wanted to give it another go around.
That's actually pretty great because I was listening to one of Mappy Davis's older podcasts, Obstacle Racing Media, and he was saying that he highly recommends that you take that kind of plan. So great that you were doing that. So the distance you got covered, the obstacles, you were doing a lot of that training, which is great. A big factor that a lot of people overlook is the grip strength. So how do you feel that you're prepared for that?
There was a lot of obstacle course training plans that I use as an according for grip strength and other weighted exercises, but I was using that plan actually for running for a long time, the obstacle course training advanced. And I love it. I love the people that run it, but it wasn't giving me the distance that I needed.
And who runs it?
My friend Peter Dobos, who hopefully we'll have on the podcast someday. He's a really cool guy.
All right. And I think so. Obviously, looking at this, is one more thing to address: elevation. So it's one thing to run a marathon; it's another thing to run a marathon up and down and up and down and up and down a mountain. Do you feel like this is your one weak point? Is this your Achilles heel? How do you feel about it?
Definitely, yeah. It's going to be. That's the biggest challenge, and that's anywhere, especially Killington, is where it's going to really grab you and take hold of you. But I try to utilize elevation as much as I could for where I live and my busy schedule. So if if I fail tomorrow, that'll be the reason.
And once again, failure isn't the worst thing that can happen. It's over there. Excellent, thank you. And once again, failure isn't the worst thing that can happen. I mean, every failure is a learning experience. I know we had Rob McCoy on the podcast, and I know that I'm pretty sure he's failed a few Ultra Beasts. And I don't know if everyone knows him, but he's jacked. He's very, in great shape. He's done a lot of this for a while.
Matt B. Davis did something like 7. What did he say? Like 12 Ultra Beasts DNF, something like that.
I didn't know if it was 12.
I'm not sure if it's that high, but I think it was a high number.
Yeah, and I asked him like, any Ultra Beast advice, and I didn't realize that he had failed so many. And even still, any advice is worthwhile. Just wanted to make sure that he didn't think that I was making fun of him. No. But so, all right, we'll conclude there. And
I think tomorrow is just a true scouting report. Whether or not I am successful, I'll be back.
Excellent. Okay, so it's the day of the Ultra Beast. It's about 5 o'clock in the morning. We're almost to the venue. Alex, how you feeling?
Had a lot of supplements, and I'm driving abnormally fast.
No, he's actually driving a little slow. But what are some of these supplements that you took?
I had Bulletproof Coffee. I had Shakeology. I had a Super Green Shot. I had Beetle Eat. I took my multivitamin. I had Brain Octane Oil. I had a lot of stuff. I'm good to go.
Yeah, so nutrition will not be your undoing. What do you have packed for this event?
My Camelback is filled with electrolyte tablets inside the water, and I have plenty of nutrition as far as Cliff Bars, Picky Bars, waffle strudels, just a bunch of stuff to keep me going, keep me fueled.
All right, well, it's just about go time. I was supposed to volunteer. We'll see how that goes. Angela, Jimmy, and Sean will also be doing the Beast today. Angela and Jimmy will be doing the Beast again tomorrow. So it's our own kind of Ultra Beast. Only Alex has the fun part with the time restraint. So it's just about time to go. We're at the start line. Alex, how you feeling?
Feeling pretty good. A little nervous, but that's just normal race hype. I have a feeling that I don't belong with these people. That I look around, I see a lot of endurance athletes, a lot of badasses walking around. So I hope I can hang.
It's interesting. Out of all the races I've done, I've never been surrounded by such great people. So it's pretty intimidating. And there's also a big holdup. You want to explain what's going on?
I guess a bus broke down or something, but we'll see what's going on. Seems like they're announcing something right now.
The volunteers are trying to get onto the course. They're running behind. It's about 6:25. They're supposed to let them off at 6:15. Hopefully they'll be going off soon. All right, good luck, Alex.
Thank you.
Strength from them as they will draw strength from you. You will not let them fail. Who are? All that you hold dear on this good earth, I bid you stand, sons and daughters of Sparta. Stand and fight, for today you rise to glory. Not tomorrow, not next week, but right here, right now in your home, New Jersey. Who are? I'm a Spartan. Who are? I'm a Spartan. Oh, 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 oh,
Go, Alex!
I'm doing it!
And now, for the moment that all 17 of you were waiting for. Did Alex finish? Holy fucking shit, we found him! Yes! Yes! Oh my god! Oh.
I did it for my dog.
Say it.
I did it for my dog.
Alex's dog passed away earlier this week. Holy fucking shit, he finished, people. Wow, Alex, how do you feel?
Dude, I can't even think. But I can tell you that I won't be broken ever. Ever, ever, ever.
I gotta say, we were shitting ourselves because your thing was not updating. We didn't know where you were in the course. I don't know if the thing fell off your shoe or what.
No, I took it off my shoe because the mud was so thick. This is the thickest mud I've ever seen in a Spartan race. So I safely put it in my Camelback. I checked results here. I did finish, and the man checked the results for me. He gave me the buckle. He gave me the shirt. He said I'm good to go.
And that buckle, dude, that means you are the GOAT. Yeah. You're the GOAT of the team for OCR.
Yeah, and that's an awesome feeling, and I can't wait until the next person takes my place and does their turn.
It was supposed to be someone else doing this, CJ, but I can't believe you fucking did, dude. We got here, we're so panicked. I never got to check your bag.
That Mike was panicked. I was not panicked.
I was very panicked, let's be real.
Before I went to bag check like an asshole.
Well, we actually just got here, and Olivia's like, just got a result, he just finished, and we're up there looking for you.
Result?
Yeah.
How come you didn't?
Because I didn't, I don't know, she must have been refreshing. I got here and I was looking all over.
I signed up my parents, you, and Olivia.
Excellent. Yeah, your mom was talking to me a lot too. She's like, do you have any results? And I go, I'm so sorry, I have nothing. And I'm just really worried. I assumed the worst. Jimmy was worried, Angela was worried, Sean was worried, Olivia was worried, your mom was worried. Katelyn apparently wasn't.
I couldn't believe that I did the first lap in 5.5 hours.
I saw that, actually.
I ran as fast as I possibly could. And then the second lap, I'll admit it, I walked 90% of the time. But, I mean, I kept checking everybody's watch, and I'm like, I can make it if I just hustle and just don't stop.
And the speed of your first lap made up for that, so that's amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. That was my plan. Just get it out of the way. I have the energy now. Use it now.
The scary thing about your results was we not your results, but like the Chronotrack updates, is we saw there was a check at the dunk wall. It said dunk wall 1, memory test 1.
You know what's funny? Ultra Beasts don't do the memory test because we would have to do it twice. So you just walk right by it. I mean, I'm sure,
very interesting.
I'm sure it's a checkpoint for people in general, but it wasn't for me.
Yeah, for you. And then I refreshed it, and then it didn't say memory test. It said Z-wall, and I'm like, everything's going to hell. I have no idea what's going on, and it never said. I thought it was going to say finish, and then I was going to have another one, but it makes sense. The last thing we saw was a transfer station, and we had no idea what that meant, and then we realized that must be your first lap.
Yeah, I think that's what I meant, because I don't know if you can see here, but you come down this hill here, and it looks like you're going towards the finish line, and then you take a sharp left, and it's probably the most depressing thing.
How very Spartan of them.
Yeah, it was. But I think the second death march is what really did me in. I was baking in the sun. This is probably 1 p.m. we're talking, so.
And the time right now, Katelyn, what's the time?
8:56.
Yeah.
Holy shit, dude.
Do you remember when they told us we were starting a little later? They actually bumped up the time to 10 p.m., so I finished with plenty.
That's good. I was worried about that.
You had about an hour and 30 minutes left, because when we were up there, some guy was like, oh, we still have like a ton of time left.
Yeah, it was perfect. And I mean, I hate to admit that I walked, but I mean, I did it, so that's all.
That thing around your neck means everything, dude. That's absolutely amazing. It looks absolutely beautiful. And it is the belt buckle. That's awesome. All right.
That shirt?
Yeah. He asked me what size, and I was like, it doesn't matter. My mom's going to dry the hell out of it anyway, so.
All right, buddy, let's get you cleaned up and get back home.
Definitely. Thank you.
Get you some dinner. Okay, so here we are. I thought you just hit something. Wait, Mike, how much gas do you have?
I have 13 miles.
Oh my goodness.
Hey, that was a distance in my first lap. That's kind of funny.
Right?
Yeah.
So Alex, you completed the Ultra Beast today. Can you just give us a rundown of how long you were on the course and what each lap was like?
I was on the course for a total of 14 hours and change. My first lap was really intimidating to begin with because Mike saw I was with a bunch of badasses, and I just felt like I didn't belong. I felt like I was the runt in the pack. But I just kept up with a lot of people. I mean, I kept conversation with a bunch of military people that kept me going, and that helped me a lot. My first lap, I think, was 5.5 hours. I could be wrong.
Around there.
Yeah, don't quote me on that, but I have no idea. But I ran as fast as I could, and the second lap, I kind of just, I was just trying to time it by walking it, so.
Awesome. I think you ran your Ultra Beast faster than I ran my first Beast, so congratulations.
Thank you.
What was your favorite part of the course?
I have no idea. What part did I hate least? That is really hard. Anytime I had the chance to run was what I liked, because there was a lot of incline, and anytime it flattened out a little bit, that's when I felt like I was, in Mario Kart when they have that little rainbow strip and you get a boost. That's what I felt like. It was awesome.
Such a great analogy.
Yeah, I was like, woo! It was awesome, but.
Do you feel as if your training paid off and that you are a lot less hurting and broken than you would have been if you just wung it?
100%. I think I made the right choice of switching my training to a marathon running plan. Yeah, it was Hal Higdon, and I think that is what made the difference. But I didn't have a single day that I skipped, and if I did miss a day, I doubled up on the next day, if that makes sense. So.
That's awesome. And so you did a lot of running training. Did you do like upper body as well, or?
What I did was a combination of P90X3 doubles, which is you do 2 30-minute workouts a day, and then that's when I began my running. And I did my running at school where I go to college.
That's awesome. Did you do any like hill training?
I did what I could with what I have in my town, which is really, really difficult. I tried to utilize Borderland a couple times. It wasn't cutting it. So Rainham Middle School in Massachusetts is what really did it for me.
Awesome. Do you have any advice for anybody who is considering running an Ultra Beast?
Honestly, it was probably my favorite race I've ever done, and I can't believe I did it, but I don't think I would recommend it. I think if you're going to make that choice, you need to be serious and you need to have a plan, because if you don't have a plan and you don't have your nutrition dialed in and you're not mentally sound, and you're not going to get it. And that's the nicest way I can put it.
I feel like you're somebody who mentally cannot be broken, whereas there are people in this world like me who get mentally broken quite easily. So I appreciate that advice. And you're not somebody who usually wears a belt buckle. Is this going to be a decision that you will change?
I'm actually kind of excited because I need a new belt. But if you notice, mine's kind of like fraying apart, but I kind of act like it's not. But yeah, I'm going to go buy a really nice belt and probably wear it for the rest of my life. Usually, I think actually I'll wear it in front of CJ as much as I can.
Absolutely. There we go.
I think you should come to Country Night with Jake and CJ and show off that belt buckle.
I don't think my legs are doing Country Night. I appreciate the offer.
Well, I didn't mean like tomorrow, but maybe on Thursday.
Yeah, hopefully. We'll see what happens.
Mike, gas station, please.
Oh, shit.
Mike is running out of gas, and that's one thing that makes me very panicky.
I have a quick question for Alex real quick. I heard there were 3 new obstacles. What was your favorite obstacle, and what was your least favorite of the new obstacles?
I don't really know the names. I wish the heck I did. But the one where it's kind of a... Sure.
Like if you pay with cash, it's 10 cents cheaper.
How you doing, buddy?
Could you fill it so there was an obstacle where it's a slanted wall, and you have 3 options. You can grab it like a rock climbing. There's holes and there's chains, and I just didn't know which one to choose, so I kind of just did what I could, and I looked like a mutt trying to do it. I failed it the second time, 100%.
How many burpees did you have to do while you were out there?
This sounds terrible, but well over 200.
Did you actually do the burpees?
I did, yeah. I was honest with myself, and I didn't care how long it took. One area took me about 20 minutes just to do 30 burpees, and that was towards the end, and I just made sure I did everything I could.
That is incredible, and that is integrity.
Yeah, because in these races, they watch you, especially if you have an elite armband. And so, I mean, I'm not the type of person that would cheat on integrity anyways, but I needed to be absolutely sure. I hope I wasn't off by 1 or 2. That'd be terrible.
I'm sure if you're off by 1 or 2, nobody would have noticed.
Also, I did part of my training. I did 30 burpees a day for the last 30 days, and I couldn't go the full 30 days. It was too much training.
That's not something that... Thank you, buddy. That's something that Donna's doing actually now, right now.
Really?
Yeah,
Well,
she's doing the 30 burpee a day.
All the power to her. I hope she shows me up and she does all 30 days. That'd be pretty cool.
I think I should try to redo that because Mike and I did 30 burpees for 30 days and then I fell off the burpee train.
We kept on having to bank them. We're like, all right, we'll do 60 tomorrow.
Oh,
all right, we'll do 90.
Is the worst.
Oh my God, we're in the 200s.
Yeah, that is not fun.
Happens quick.
I think I still owe like 200 burpees.
There you go.
Anything else you wanted to say, Alex? This is...
I think that's about it. I'm just glad to be changed in the car, and I think I'm ready for food and bed.
Oh, we're going to Zaxby's.
Sounds good.
And who should we dedicate this podcast episode to, Alex?
I'm going to dedicate it to my dog that recently passed away, and I dedicated the race to him as well.
That is so sweet and so touching. And if anybody wants to move to New Jersey, just so you know, they clean all of your windows while you're getting gas.
That's awesome. I never had that experience.
Yeah. Oh, is I supposed to shut my car off? I'm not used to this.
Yes.
Oh, that's so good.
And they pump it for you, so.
I'm not used to that. Too much service.
Love my homeland. Do we have anything else you want to add?
I think that's it. Over and out.
Bye.
Adios. All right, finally back home in Massachusetts. It's a long, long weekend. This is normally where we would hear from Angela and Jimmy, or even Sean, but Sean left for home, which is Maine, yesterday, and Angela and Jimmy are still on their way home. Jimmy's driving and Angie is probably passed out, so I don't blame them for sleeping and trying to recover because it's a long, long weekend doing a Beast Saturday and a Beast Sunday. I know from last year. So Sean's thoughts on the race. He met up with Angela and Jimmy about halfway, but he felt really good, so he ran ahead. He said he didn't see Alex. Said it was a tough course, but he loved the trail portion of it. He also learned that Spartan Race likes to punish you with the obstacles instead of just challenging. And in that, he means that they'll put obstacles that work similar parts of your body just back to back to back to try to get you to back out. He said that the last carry at mile 13 was a killer. And I believe I looked that up online and saw it was about a third of a mile up and down the mountain. And I know how brutal that can be. I asked him if he could ever consider doing an Ultra Beast. He said, hard to say, but he'd have to train for sure. The thought of going and doing that again right now is not appealing, which is totally understandable. He has to figure out how to not cramp. A bunch of mustard and electrolyte pills he took, but he's still getting leg cramps. And that's a tough thing to get around when your body just does not want to continue anymore. And then he lost Angela and Jimmy. They finally found them, and then we panicked about Alex. Just reading through the conversation here. The medal's pretty sweet. I kind of approve of it this year. Still panicking about Alex. We found him. Congratulations. It seems like they had a really, really great weekend. I wanted to hear from them about what their favorite obstacles were because there were 3 new obstacles, but we didn't really get around to that. Next weekend, we have no idea what we're doing. We'll be completely honest here. We wanted to get an interview with with both Martin and Brian, but Katelyn's very busy this weekend. And then we wanted to get John Landry, one of our newest members on the team. We wanted to get him on the podcast. I was going to have Alex do that, but he's going to be military training up in Fort Drum. And so, yeah, there's that. Katelyn and I will be doing a 5K. We may potentially do the Wasson Pond Pounder up in New Hampshire, which is I believe it's a 5K OCR. It's like a local small one, and we love to support local OCRs, so we may try to make a stop there. But I think that's just about all. Oh, and I totally don't want to forget, we also have a new member, Shaylin Floria. Very sorry if I butchered your name. I personally haven't met her, but she's a good friend of Kay. She likes 5Ks and 10Ks and long walks on the beach. Just kidding about that last part. But she's a new addition to the team. Great to have another runner. We'll talk to you guys next weekend. Bye.
Thank you for listening. If you enjoy this episode, leave us a rating and review on iTunes. If you would like to learn more about our team, our website is mstefanorunning.com. You can also find us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, and YouTube. So please like, follow, and subscribe. Our intro song was Streaker by the band Straight Up, and our outro song is Iron Paw by The Best.
Welcome back.
Thank you to everyone who talked to me as I prepped for my A race of the year, people who talked and helped me out on the course, and to many of the community who congratulated me for my attempt despite my failure. Oh, and the woman at the bucket carry who recognized me from the show. That felt really good too.
Does that make you feel good, or are you like embarrassed when you're like DNFing and people recognize you?
I mean, at least I'm putting myself out there. Again, like I don't race nearly as much as I used to. I've been doing this for 13 years now, so I already had my time to talk about that. But yeah, no, it's fine. The giveaway is over. The dude missed his shot. We gave him 2 weeks.
Should we pick a new guy?
Maybe. We'll see.
Okay.
Maybe another time. I did not pick related episodes. It's a tough thing about doing the show notes. So the episode that was in here was episode 17, Tri-State Spartan Ultra Beast and Tri-State Spartan Beast. That was way back in 2017. But episode 69 was New Jersey Spartan Beast. I believe I covered that in person there. The finish line interviews. What?
Hit the arrows.
Yeah. There's so many New Jersey things, though. 69. Did I just say 69?
Yeah.
69?
How many times are you going to say 69?
69. Maybe I typed in as Tri-State. I don't know. I'll link them down below. I've covered that event a couple times. But I haven't raced it in a very long time, so...
Subscribe and follow wherever you get your podcasts. We are Obstacle Running Adventures on all of the players. And if you want to support us financially, you can support us over on patreon.com for as little as $2 or as many as $10. Leave us a review on the Purple Podcast Player. We haven't had a review in a really long time, and last review we got was only 1 star. So if you like what you heard, leave us a 5-star review and tell us what you like.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. So I was really curious. I'm going back. So Vernon, New Jersey. I ran the Beast in 2016, the Super in 2016. Oh, I ran the Super back-to-back days. Oh, that's when I was going for the quadruple trifecta. Is that it? That can't be right. But according to this, I've only run New Jersey 3 times, and all 3 times were in 2016. That is crazy to think about. That was 9 years ago. But I've gone there to cover it many, many times. Coming up next, not too sure, but with this event out of the way, I can concentrate on the podcast like I like to, and we can come up with something good for you guys. I know that Katelyn was supposed to reach out to do an interview about a book, right?
Yes.
Yes, so hopefully we'll be getting on that soon. Katelyn, got a joke or a quote to end this?
What do you want first?
I don't care.
The quote is by Maya Angelou, and she said, "We delight in the beauty of the butterfly, but rarely admit the changes it has gone through to achieve that beauty." And then my joke is, what do you call a typo on a tombstone?
A tombstone? I don't know.
A grave mistake.
Nice. All right, well, that just about wraps it up. My name is Michael Stefano.
And my name is Katelyn Ritter.
And I'll talk to you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
We'll talk to you.
We'll talk to you next week.
Thank you for listening.
We hope you're feeling motivated, inspired,
And ready to take on your next race or training run.
If you've enjoyed this week's episode, leave us a review
and share it with your fellow adventurous friends.
Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Obstacle Running Adventures.
Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode.
Join us every week for more news,
Stories and interviews from the community.
Our intro song was Streaker by Straight Up.
And our outro music is Iron Paw by The Best.
That is so loud. This meeting is being recorded, lady.
Oh my god, what an amateur. I was muted. Okay.
I was gonna say, I can't hear you. I could just hear you from down the stairs.
Yeah, you gotta change your background. Shift the computer over so it's not like the printer. There you go. I guess it's not much better. The graveyard mic. That's fine. And then the light isn't very... That's fine. We're going with what we got.
Hold on, let me shut the door because I can hear you.
All right, I got the course map pulled up too. Wanted to try that new energy drink you got me, but it's not cold, so I'm gonna drink Olipop that I enjoy.
Look, this sweatshirt is perfect for interviews.
Oh yeah, yeah. The rest of the shirt could be great. You have no idea. All right, I like the shirt anyway.
That way.
We're good.
Okay, are you ready?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. You want to tell the people any secrets?
Nope. What do I have for secrets?
I don't know.
My butt chafed real bad.
Perfect. You can end the recording.